Hello and welcome to this complete introduction to crisis communication. Now, I'm very happy to be able to work with you and share my more than 25 years of experience in the field of communications. During my long career in the field, I have worked on both sides of the media fence, so to speak. As a reporter, during such crises as the Swiss Flight 111 disaster, the Mont Blanc tunnel blaze, and the Zug government shooting. But I've also worked as a press officer for an international meteorological agency where it was my job to frequently inform the media about such issues as climate change, greenhouse gas emissions, the destruction of the ozone layer, and various weather-related disasters, including Hurricane Katrina. It's also been my privilege to train hundreds of high-level security and military government officials and company management staff from all over the world about how to effectively handle the press and perform clear, informative presentations in a confident and efficient manner. So, at the end of this course, you will understand 1. The internal and external importance of crisis communication. 2. The various crisis types. 3. How to craft an effective crisis communication procedure. And 4. How to respond and adapt during a crisis. You'll also be provided with case studies where we can analyze some notable crises communications efforts and determine what went right and what went wrong. You'll also receive some handy templates and checklists which you'll be able to take away with you and rapidly begin implementing your own crisis communications plan, confident that you have left nothing out. So, the Chinese for crisis features 2 characters, one representing danger and the other opportunity. And although there are various definitions in English, they all describe the word along the lines of a time of great danger, difficulty or confusion when problems must be solved or important decisions must be made. And whether the crisis is external, such as the global pandemic, or internal, for instance, your trusted accountant has been embezzling cash to fund a nasty cocaine habit, then one of your most important decisions is going to be how to communicate the problem and, more importantly, your solution to the board, general public, shareholders, staff, and partners. The rapidity and manner in which you execute this can mean the difference between successfully weathering a storm and perhaps even going out of business. As we all can recognize, it takes years to build a reputation and only seconds to destroy it, especially in a brave new social media world where trolls, bots, bogus reviews, and fake news lurk on every chat board and under every mouse click. This course is designed to provide you with a comprehensive introduction to crisis management, from effective preparation ahead of any trouble, how to implement it in the heat of battle, or how to handle a crisis from scratch, assuming you don't have any such plan in place already. So let's begin by having a look at the importance of crisis communication. So, in April 2010, the Deepwater Horizon oil rig exploded, pouring millions of litres of oil into the Mexican Gulf. As the seriousness of the catastrophe began to make itself apparent, CEO Peter Hayward issued an apology on behalf of British Petroleum, the company responsible.
We're sorry for the massive disruption it's caused to their lives. And there's no one who wants this thing over more than I do. I'd like my life back. So there's no one who wants this thing done more than I do.
As you can see for yourselves, at first he made the right noises, even though perhaps he didn't seem entirely sincere about it. However, even this questionable apologetic note was rapidly drowned out by Hayward's shift to his own issues, rather than those of the hundreds of thousands of livelihoods affected by the disaster, not to mention the countless species of exterminated wildlife and miles of a contaminated coastline. As you can gather from his performance under pressure, it was quite clear that A, despite the dangers associated with the petroleum industry, and it's not as if this was the first oil-related disaster in history, BP didn't have a crisis communication plan in place. Or if they did, it was ineffective. And B, whoever was advising Hayward directly after the disaster didn't do their job very well, or the CEO overrode them and elected to improvise. Here's another. You're probably familiar with this incident.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! No! Oh my Guys, my God! What are you doing? No, this is wrong! Oh my God! Look at what you did to him! Oh my God!
Yes, that's the notorious United Airlines incident in April 2017, where a doctor was dragged from his seat because he refused to give it up to allow company staff to travel instead of him. The next morning, United CEO Oscar Munoz issued a statement which appeared to justify the removal of the unfortunate passenger. He referred to the incident as reaccommodating the customers. Mr. Munoz also sent an email to United staff commending the crew's actions for following established procedures and referring to the doctor as disruptive and belligerent. Unfortunately for Mr. Munoz, his description of the customer contradicted passenger recollections. One onlooker asserted that the doctor was not belligerent, saying instead he was very polite, matter of fact. A cell phone video by another passenger also contradicted Munoz's description. As the United Airlines share price fell and the backlash took off, Mr. Munoz was compelled to backtrack, and eventually a public apology was given. Now, these examples illustrate two key points about the importance of crisis communication. One, that you have a far greater chance of managing a crisis if you have a plan already in place and ready to be launched. And two, if you don't, then you need to be very careful about what you say and especially how you say it. Now, I'm sure that both of these executives probably wake up in a cold sweat some nights when they recall their initial public performances, and even if they don't, then there's always social media to forever remind them. So let's have a look at another major company crisis. In August 2016, South Korean tech giant Samsung launched the now infamous Note 7 smartphone. Now, this was marketed as a worthy rival to Apple's iPhone, but by September, the company was forced to recall about 2.5 million phones after complaints of overheating and exploding batteries. The firm insisted that all replaced devices were safe. However, this was soon followed by reports that even those phones were also overheating. So, realizing it was in a no-win situation, company COO Tim Baxter released this.
My name is Tim Baxter, President and Chief Operating Officer at Samsung Electronics America. At Samsung, our highest priority is our customers, their aspirations, their needs, their safety. And with battery cell defects in some of our Note 7 phones, we did not meet the standard of excellence that you expect and deserve. For that, we apologize, especially to those of you who were personally affected by this. To those of you who love the Note, the most loyal customers in our Samsung family, we appreciate your passion and your patience. We take seriously our responsibility to address your concerns about safety. And we will work every day to earn back your trust through a number of unprecedented actions and with the extraordinary support of our carrier partners, suppliers, and the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission. Here are the facts. The CPSC has worked closely with us to develop, expedite, and execute a plan to protect American consumers. We notified them of a potential defect in the original Note 7 batteries and then issued a global directive to stop sales immediately. To date, we already have exchanged 130,000 units, a fast and meaningful start. And with the CPSC's partnership, we will continue implementing corrective steps to exchange every single Note 7 on the market. To be clear, the Note 7 with the new battery is safe. The battery cell issue is resolved. And this finding has been affirmed by a recognized independent lithium-ion battery expert. To our Note 7 owners, if you have not yet replaced your original Note 7, please power it down and return it. New Note 7 phones will be available for exchange no later than next Wednesday, September 21st. Visit Samsung.com for more information. Thank you.